Thermador Steam Oven was an instant success when it came to market 4 years ago. Much like when the microwave came to market 40 years ago, people understood instantly, this is the tool I need for my day-to-day cooking. There's just a great appreciation nowadays of working with a variety of vegetables and grains, and how amazing to have a tool where you can layer those foods in and cook them all at one time. Not only are there great health benefits with cooking with a steam oven, but in fact it can liberate you from standing in front of the stove. Now, one concern about the steam oven is it large enough to do all the cooking I need to do? If you're not used to using the steam oven, it might take you a little longer to get used to how do you get the maximum use out of the oven. So I'm going to show you now, using a variety of trays and examples, how your steam oven can not only cook dinner for 2, but it can also cook dinner for 30 or 40 people. It's just knowing how to use those trays at the right time. Now, one of the obvious ways to use the steam oven is to steam vegetables. When we steam the vegetables in the Thermador Steam Oven, they retain so many nutrients, and the great thing is we can layer various trays in and cook multiple foods at one time. When you cook in steam, it's like convection. There's no flavor transference between the different foods you're cooking. So silly to cook one thing when you can cook 2 or 3. Now, in terms of the size, if you were steaming a bunch of broccoli on the cooktop, you'd only use maybe a 2 to 3 quart saucepan. So that bunch of broccoli fits perfectly into the half-size pan that comes with your Thermador Steam Oven. I use the perforated pan so that I can allow the steam to penetrate right through the vegetables. Even 4 ears of corn fit perfectly into the Thermador Steam Oven. If I wanted to do a larger quantity, then I would use the larger perforated pan. Like a bunch of kale, when I cut it up into ribbons, it's quite a large mass, then the large size perforated pan is perfect. Same as if I'm steaming a lot of potatoes to make potato salad or mashed potatoes. When you see the vegetables organized this way, you realize it's not the size of the oven that counts. It's knowing how to use the trays, layer them in, and cook everything at one time. That's the real benefit of your Thermador Steam Oven. Now, we always cook our grains in the steam oven for one very good reason. Don't you hate that moment when you turn around and then suddenly the water boils and everything boils over? So, in the steam oven that never happens. This is 1 cup of multicolored quinoa. So when I cook the 1 cup of quinoa or rice or even orzo pasta, bulgur, any type of grain I'm cooking, I put the 1 cup in the half-size pan and I add 2 cups of water. Just exactly the same as I would on the cooktop, except that I don't boil the water first. I just add it cold to the grain and it comes to temperature very quickly in the steam oven. Now, I can also cook large quantities of grains in the steam oven by using the full-size pan. This is 2 cups of rice here, and you can see it's this perfect. Again, I'm just going to add the right amount of water when I'm ready to cook this. Set the timer, set it and forget it. No boilovers and perfect fluffy grains every time. One of our favorite things to do in the steam oven is to roast meats and vegetables. Now, when it comes to roasting in convection, we roast our meats on a rack in a shallow pan. And you can see the Thermador pan is perfect. We use the oven rack placed over the solid pan. The reason we elevate the meat is the way convection heat cooks, circulating around the oven, it penetrates from the edge of the food to the core. When you elevate the meat, the moisture stays in the meat. If you put the meat directly on the pan, the heat of the pan leaches the moisture out. And then the convection fan picks it up and splatters it. So, rack in a shallow pan. You add steam to the roasting, you get even greater benefits, all the nutrient retention of the food. So flavor and texture is great. This is a 6-pound chicken, but the largest cut of meat we've actually roasted in the Thermador Steam Oven was a 14-pound boneless prime rib. And we've also done turkeys between 10 to 14 pounds. The size is not the issue because of the capacity of the tray. Now, when we roast our chickens or any type of cut of meat, we also like to add a tray of vegetables. And I'm going to show you how we stage the oven so that we can accommodate all of those things. We love to roast fish in the steam oven. Again, for the benefits we get from the convection cooking plus the steam, and being able to cook an entire meal at one time, lovely flavorful vegetables, and then beautiful fish. It's so easy. You have this instant, elegant meal that is flavorful and cooked to perfection. In addition to roasting lean tender cuts of meat and vegetables and fish in the steam oven, we love to braise in the steam oven. Now, when you read recipes for braising, it always says, place the meat in a heavy pan with a tight-fitting lid, or sometimes, like with ribs, they'll say put them into a large pan, add some water and cover it tightly with foil. We just find a pan that fits in the steam oven. Now, this large oval pan is actually equivalent to a 9x13 casserole, but casserole dishes always have handles that stick out on the edge because you need something to grab onto because of the weight of the pan. By choosing an oval pan, you'll see that I can easily get this into the oven and close the door. Some oblong pans might not fit quite as well, but the quantity you can cook in this pan is comparable to any large 9x13 pan. So you see, when you use the Thermador Steam Oven, you have all the tools you need. The half-size pans, perfect for your small cooking. The larger pans for larger quantities of food. Roasting is not an issue, going up to 14 pounds. And remember, you can always layer different foods in at one time. The things that are important to consider about the Thermador Steam Oven: the versatility of cooking, the ease of cooking, and the ability to cook so many foods at one time. A comment I hear from many clients is, now that I'm used to using my Thermador Steam Oven, I don't use the burners as much on my cooktop, although I'm still glad I have such great burners. Learn how to use your Thermador Steam Oven and you'll see the size of the oven will never be a handicap with your cooking.